All right, I'm back. I'll give you guys a second to get in here. I'm completely missing everything going on with the market right now. I was trying to be on to, I wanted to be right on for NFP. And of course, something happened, but oh, what a pain in the ass. All right, so nothing crazy happening yet. Had to excuse the issue. I was all set to go, and then this, I don't know, technology, man. Sometimes a pain in the ass. So we had a little bit of movement upward from EU. Let's see what we got going on here with this. See how the numbers came out. Apparently, unemployment numbers are better than they expected. The claims are lower, which is good. See how it plays out. All right, let me get my chat up. Jeez, man, what a pain in the ass this was. All right. All right. We're back. Apologies. OBS for my streaming was just not working, and hopefully we're back now with everything. Get my chat up. Man, not the way I want to start this day. Just want to be a little bit smoother. All right. Okay. So, my bad. Here we go. Real quick, let me do this while we're trying to get things going. Let me knock this one out real quick. You guys know what it is. Real quick disclaimer, guys. Trading any financial market requires a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You should only trade with money you can afford to lose. Proper risk management is essential in trading all financial markets. If you do not have the understanding of proper risk management, it would be best to educate yourself further before beginning to trade. The content I provide is for general information purposes only, as well as entertainment. It should not be interpreted as advice, investment, financial, or otherwise, as I am not a financial services provider. However, if you choose to follow along with any of my trade positions, please know that you do so at your own risk. Okay, cool. Get that knocked out. So you still look like you're moving in bullish potential after the last 2 days have been really bullish on EU, but you can see you're coming up to these highs at like 1.1300 around there. You're coming up to this level, so it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays. I mean, like I would still be bullish on it. Why not? Why would I call an end to it? Like you broke this from back on the 29th. You cleared through it on the 4 hour, pulled down, tested the zone, and now it's like wicking up. You still got 20 minutes, so I have to see how it closes. You could potentially see it come and try and test higher. It's still got a little bit of space on ADR. I mean, this is 5 minute chart. You don't want that. Still looks bullish to me. So, same thing with AU. As I was up a little bit last night around like 2:30, I think, and I saw this. Yeah, 2 o'clock. I kind of saw these candles and I was like, oh, this thing looks like it's trying to come higher. It did get up a little bit higher. 'Cause I mean, just break, retest. It's a really nice candle right here in the Asia session. Just continue to move to the upside. We'll have to see how it plays out. Looks like it's still trying to move higher to me though. You're right. Like you kind of cleared this for the moment. Now it's obviously the dailies. You have to see how the daily closes, but see you're kind of like moving through it. EA still trying to come lower. As you can see, like yesterday, we just got chopped out of it. It just came back. Didn't have the momentum to push, but it's also not rising really. So it's kind of like what happened to me on GU last Wednesday, where it was like it broke down and then it just kind of went flat for a day. So I'm looking to see it continue again to the downside. See how this 4 hour closes in 20 minutes. Maybe get a nice bearish engulfing. I'd still like to see it come to the downside. This is a pretty extended candle, obviously from news. Let's see what happens. All right. A little funny start to the morning, but we'll get it going. Dollar index looks like it's trying to come through for a potential move to the downside, which you'll see EU trying to move up potentially. GU looking pretty good. Is divergent, can't deny that. It's had a really good run up, up. I mean, you're at these highs too. At GU, you can see where you're at right here. You can see you're kind of coming right back up to this level where it had fallen from before. Does look like it has momentum to the upside though, so maybe it's going to move up and through it. But I wouldn't want to say like a correction, like it just looks like it's going to keep trying to move higher. It's definitely going to be an interesting day. It's nothing too crazy with this NFP. I would assume that it's pretty much kind of what people expected. You expected there to be more employment just because people got back to work, and you would expect there to be less claims again because people getting back to work. But the economy is, in my opinion, my sister does real estate. She says that people are, it's a seller's market. There's so many people trying to buy houses. She said she had like 14 showings or something. But I don't understand how that is when all these people are still unemployed. So I think it's kind of like Fugazi, where it's like people are getting back to work, so these numbers look great, and then the stock market looks great, and all that stuff. But really, I think people are in positions where they might be losing their homes, or they might be defaulting on, auto payments and stuff like that, because the real story is that people are still out of work, and a lot of these uh, benefits are starting to expire. Like the $600 a week expires on July 31st, and they're like, okay, well, are we going to extend this? Because there's still so many people that are out of work, or even people who have gone back to work. It's like in a reduced capacity. So I really don't know what the real answer is. I don't know that pretty much anybody knows what it is. But here's how the numbers roll in today. Oh, excuse me. So you can see in the last couple minutes of this candle on EA, starting to pull back up, and you can see how this is like almost in a buying condition. It's kind of like a chop reset condition. I wouldn't say this is a strong buying condition because it could just fall right through. You also see how it's holding is 50 EMA, like it's not really breaking up or above it. So it's definitely resetting. A little bit bearish engulfing there. Not really convinced one way or the other for it. EU wicked all the way back. See how this plays out. XY looking like it's trying to like hold this level and roll over. Kind of looks like it's forming like a square. Right? Like that. It kind of came up. Now it's like chopping. What's up, Supima? Let's see what happens with EU. And yeah, I know. Got to give it like another 45 minutes for the stocks. But you can see how it kind of just came up and now it's like chopping in here. Definitely in a selling sentiment. Still falling, so you'd like to see it keep moving lower. And the same with like EU. I really feel like I missed some big moves this week just because I wasn't trying to go counter trend and it was just looking choppy to me, but just bottoms here. 1, 2, 3, 4, inverted head and shoulder. Couldn't break through, came back down, tested level, wasn't ready to move lower, and then moved higher. So it's like I definitely missed some moves. And then GJ yesterday, I removed some of my EMAs too because they were just beginning to become a pain in the ass to me. But this is a clear push right here at 9:45. It comes up, goes sideways, breaks the zone. That's an igniting candle. You know where your stop goes. Your stop goes under this zone because if it's going to keep continuing to make structure, as it does, like it finally pulls back, like it up and then a little consolidation here. But you can see it just, if anything, retests the entry. It doesn't come back to this. So I missed a lot this week, and I'm not really happy with how I've been trading. Um, I feel like I'm being too conservative. I'm not really giving myself enough credit for how like I'm reading the market. So I don't want to be more aggressive and just kind of like throw money around the market, but I want to I want to take more of my reads, even if it's at like a 1% risk instead of 2%, because I feel like I'm going back and I'm like, man, I'm watching. I rewatch my streams. It's like my journaling. I don't watch all of them. Sometimes I do, but I watch pieces of it because I know where I want to look at, and I just see these trades that I'm calling. I'm like, man, like if I took these trades, I'm winning 75% of my calls. Like, yeah, I might if I took the ones I was calling this week, I would have been like 2 wins and 1 loss. So even if I traded 2%, it would have been a 4% winner, an 8% winner, and then 2% loss. I'd be up 6% this week instead of just down to 2% from EA yesterday. So I'm like, I need to, be a little bit more willing to believe what I'm seeing. I've been doing this for 4 years. I feel like I really have a good handle on this market. I can exercise caution and I can see really good probable entries. I think I need to start executing a little bit more because I'm just getting frustrated. So I'm going to see how that works out for me moving into next week. Today, I'll probably remain a little bit more cautious just because everything's closed tomorrow. It's like a Friday. People could be leaving the offices early. Anything could happen. So I'm going to be a little bit more cautious today just to finish out this week, but then next week I think I'm going to try and be a little bit more open-minded and focused on what I'm seeing and what I'm reading. AU's still trying to push up to these highs. You can see as it got to this high here from yesterday's high a day, it kind of like pinned back down. So you can see it's still every bit trying to rise. I wouldn't want to go away from that. Again, there is divergence, but it's still holding above on the hour. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. This looks like a channel to me. Pop, 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 pop. Same with this one. Looks like a channel. This is starting to look square. You could still kind of call it a channel. I guess you could just, see how it's like trying to break out, doesn't break out. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, there's definitely resistance going on here. You can see you're well below this liquid 50. You like it like this. See how when you're above the liquid 50, and then you get the igniting candles, how it's more likely to go. When you're under it, you need to get up and above it. Otherwise, you might see this fall off. This has had a lot of rise in it. Again, I don't want to go away from that, but for now, you're starting to see a little bit of failure. So we'll see how the candle closes. Let's see what's happening on the 1 minute for starting to make. Yeah, you're starting to make downtrending structure. You can see how you hit a high, came back down. Now you made a lower high here, and now you're starting to fall off again. It's a really big candle. It's a lot of momentum. Divergent here. No, excuse me, that's not divergent. It's just rejecting down. It's made a high, consolidated, tried to push up, couldn't really get to the high, so this is a lower high. Came back. Now this might be two candle bearish engulfing, but this is kind of square to me, like this. Yeah, I would take the whole thing, something like that. So you got to wait for this to break one way or the other. Again, I definitely would like to see it move higher because it's still overall buying. You're gonna need to see a nice push, and then this is an issue right here at the moment because it tried to get there and it pulled all the way back. So we'll see. It's still early, still very early, and I don't really need to jump into anything that's not right. Because if I wait, it always gives me, something always presents if I just wait. So I'm gonna watch and wait patiently and see what happens. I have to go to the doctor today, so I'm gonna probably be out of here at like 10:30, so I'll do like 8:30 to 10:30, and then I'll jet to that, and then going through some emails real quick while we wait. How's everybody doing this morning? How are we making out? Anybody getting to anything today yet? Flat again? What's going on, CJ? How you making out, my friend? What's happening? Flat is good. Flat is good. Yeah, this is definitely just a little sideways, and that you've had a lot of momentum in this market. Like the pound has been, moving up a lot. EU moved up a lot. Like everything kind of like just reversed and started moving. So it wouldn't surprise me if today is just kind of like a consolidation day. But we'll see. Like I'd really like to see EA like break to the downside on this. What's up, pockets? Yeah, nothing's really clear at the moment. You want to stay with the trend, but you don't want to get caught. Hmm. This is still, you can see like it broke. It finally broke to the low and came right back up. So I would like to see it kind of like be like a break and then a retest and then show you more potential continuation to the downside. But it's still kind of like it's still choppy. It might, because like you see what happens sometimes, break down, consolidate, and then another push to the downside. Um, so who knows? Maybe it needs a few more days yet. We'll see. I still want to try and trade this short if I can. Could even do it like that. See how it just keeps pinning back to this. GU starting to pull down. Dollar index starting to break to the upside. EU starting to break to the downside. 2 minutes left in the candle. Could come back and retest this high here. Yesterday's high. Sorry, guys. Getting some momentum. Definitely volume in the market right now. Wow, yeah, we're starting to move really good. Nothing yet. Again, this is, if it wants to fall, that's fine. Let's see it break down and retest. You can see the rejection to the high. EA is trying to break down too. That's a really strong break on these dollar pairs. It definitely could be very choppy. Again, so it's clearly this is a breakout. It's really extended though. Usually when you see a really extended candle, sometimes you see a little bit of a pullback, you see some consolidation. Not often, unless there's a lot of volatility and sellers in the market, does it just keep running. And sometimes that can happen and you just get no opportunity for an entry, but usually it'll give you some type of correction on a really overextended candle like that. But we'll see. We shall see. Like I said, you're right back at these highs. You're right here. I think this is pretty clear and obvious that this is a level. I feel confident drawing that. So you could just be coming back to test in this level, shake out some of the stops from the buyers, and then maybe another push to the upside. We'll see. EU, same thing pretty much for EU. Something like that maybe. And that kind of seems like a level here, kind of sat on this level. So you're right back at this low. Maybe like that. It's always it's never perfect. It's always just kind of a range of how you see it, and I just try to see it where it has like the most touches. Um, it's clearly not great look for buying, but I wouldn't mind seeing like a retest. GJ still sitting. It's going to be a little bit ugly today, I think. Clearly on EU, breaking this box we have drawn, clearly strong push out. Let's see what happens if he comes back up a little bit. If it presents something that says indeed that it's going to come lower off of this level, or if it's going to try and make its way higher. GJ still very much in buying conditions, holding EMAs. It's chopping in the zone, but you can see it's still holding EMAs, still above the 50. And when you're above the 50, you know, it's a buying sign, you know. We'll see. You could see though, like it's not getting through and above because that's where you like to see it, above it, driving higher. It's kind of stalling at the moment and a lot of rejection at this area. Dollar index Might be kicking back up. Yeah, you can see how this broke as well as the EU broke down. This broke up and out. At some point, if this is falling, there's going to be some type of correction. And that's what I was saying here. Like a lot of times when you see a big push, sometimes you just get a little bit of like consolidation or correction, like a little slowing. I want to see what happens. GJ could be playing. It's interesting. It's very interesting. It's like almost a 20 pip candle. Got about 30 pips to ADR for EU. Can't believe the average on EU is only 69 pips. Even on the 5 minutes, still like holding this EMA. It's still very much in an uptrend. It's not creating lower trend structure. And we were talking about the rejection. We were seeing it here on EU on the minute, how it failed to make a high. You can see like it just came down through this, and then this push, and this push, and then just falling off. You know it's falling off, but I'm like, I don't want to take that huge push. This one's nice. The stop above structure. This one with the stop above, up, down. I mean, you know a move like this is going to get sellers jumping in. Like, people see this and everybody's selling it, you know. So it's going to drive it down a little bit more. GJ is kind of holding for the moment. It's not following the pound as the dollar index is taking care of EU and GU a little bit. GJ is still kind of just holding for the moment. Yeah, I see it. It's crazy how far it fell. You were talking about 97.26 yesterday. This thing just smoked all the way down. That was a terrible miss on my part yesterday for the EU to the upside. Just terrible, 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 terrible. What do these look like on the 4 hours? As we had the 9 o'clock hour candle. EU. Kind of bearish engulfing here on EA. Hold an EMA, comes back down kind of like a reversal candle. Probably look to see this come lower. So I do like it to the downside. Euro seems to be falling. Yeah, EU's just falling to shit. Yeah, what you sent me, Supima, you were saying it, and here it is. And I had that in my mind too. Like, yeah, this thing could fall off, but I didn't know if I was inclined to take a position. You also said it could be really choppy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm hungry. Kind of a mess today. Couldn't get my stream working. All the while, GJ's just hanging. GU's not moving that great. Euro is definitely moving. See, pound was like right at this top as well. It was still in this downtrend. Came up through two levels. Now you're back up to here. It's still potential to like sell, but the momentum's to the upside. It's a little bit divergent. I'm not sure what it does, honestly. Because it could still pull back up to retest the highs before more movement to the downside if it's gonna keep falling, or maybe it just falls from here. I'm not really sure. 1.1250. 2 billion might touch. Max on DXYs. Right, 1.1250. Yeah, it's right where it's like pinning to down here. 1.1250. Yeah, 2.4 billion. That's how you move a market. Trigger those entries. It's all just a little weird at the moment. The stock market's kind of been like falling a little bit. Still holding EMAs, but still potential to move higher. High, low, lower high. Right, pretty even with this at about 25,000. Now is that like just a bounce up to recheck the level for more momentum to the downside? It's above the 50 on the daily, which leads you to believe stay above it, keep, try and keep moving up. GJ's finally kicking down a little bit. EU 1.1250, right at that area. Triggering it right here, 1.1250. See what it does. It's a pretty good downtrend. Now you're starting to hit a little bit divergence at the moment, like it's like hitting here, it's starting to like hold, see if it corrects up a little bit and then finds more resistance and pushes down, or if it just like just goes right through it. Looks like it's kind of free falling, but with that much extension, you definitely see a correction, I would assume. The guess here is that the market makers are going to try and fake out people, but we still have option contract of 1.12 billion. Right. Yeah, I don't know. We said, I mean, this thing has been moving to the upside. It's now starting to break down, so you would expect that if it's going to keep moving lower, it's going to come up, find itself a place of, resistance, and then move again. Two really big pushes. Stopped. If you were long, obviously you're out now. So now maybe it triggers some buys. Maybe it comes back in, finds resistance, comes back down. A little bit divergent on the 1 minute, but again, that's just very, very short term. See what happens as it hits this area again up here at like 60 something. Felt like this is probably a significant area right here. So it broke through it. Let's see how it handles it here and then see if it throws another potential pattern. GJ still holding the 50, still very much in a buying condition. Definitely divergent. You could see here on the 5 minute the divergence. And again, we just draw the same thing over and over again. Something like that, roughly. Maybe if you want to do it like this, and then like that, and kind of like broke 2 candle, coming down lower. So see what happens if it comes and retests. You can see it just falling from here, like kind of this price action was like rising, but this was showing weakness. Double top, bearish engulfing, held, 2 candle push. Stop losses were totally taken. Yeah, 100%. To me, it makes sense on EU. Like if it's going to continue lower, it's going to have to come back up at some point. Because the market's a wave. We know that's a wave. And sometimes, yeah, it just does this and just run, 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 run. But typically what it does is, it moves up or down, people start taking profits, it exhausts, then people start getting back in, then it pushes again. So you can see right here as it just tapped right in here. Still got 9.5 minutes on this candle. On the 1 minute, it's a little bit divergent, so couldn't hold here, came up for a moment. Now you got to see where it finds more sellers. Bless it. I mean, like, oops. This is still very much buying on GJ. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little divergent, but it's still got bullish potential in it. EA, you can see the divergence on it down here and just like corrective channel. Like, even from all the way back here, it's just like kind of like flat to like a rising, but this is clearly falling. But in here, more specifically, you just have like this really steep descending channel where it's just been like falling. But you can see the divergence right here. It's like this says falling, but this says like flat to potentially rising. Even more so from here, like this bottom. Clearly this is a lower low, but it's not. It's a higher low here. It's like support. It's holding it. Now it's starting to like shift maybe. See if it's just a correction. Again, it's like above these EMAs here. It's still very much like it's moved a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's still very much like in a buying position opportunity. So I don't know that I want to sell it necessarily unless it corrected and then through another like bearish pattern. It's like, yeah, this is a big push, on a 15-minute. On the hour, it hit the EMA, it hit the zone, and now it's pinning to the 50. So you could see this in 36 minutes come up. It could be like a doji ham or something like that, and then the next hour candle could be a complete bullish engulfing with momentum to the upside because this is still very much in an uptrend. So I don't want to just jump on a sell, and I also don't want to just jump on a buy. I want, confirmation again. Like if this is going to keep falling, then, give me some more bearish confirmations. GJ right back to its 50. AU is just a choppy mess. Dollar index. Again, we know what to look for if it's going to continue. Like with this type of move, I would be like, okay, yeah, like maybe this is going to move up. So come back, find support, and then start to show me more momentum to the upside. Like this. Like, yeah, that's a pretty good break. Okay, we'll come up, find resistance, and then show me that the sellers are in control. Got divergence down here. You can see this is almost like an ascending channel on the TDI, because I like to draw it. You could draw it like that, you know. Is this a corrective channel and then it's going to go flat and break back down, or is it going to bust up? Clearly this is a bottom, but these two bottoms are not matching. Trend line is rising. RSI is holding the trend line. Liquid 50 still says sentiment is of a selling condition, but that could change in an instant. Coming back to this structure, as you can see, this was that initial push, and it went sideways right at 9 o'clock. Broke down. Now you're coming back up to retest this. Does it hold this area and then fall over again? Small pullback at this level is expected. First wave of stop loss over leverage accounts being wiped clean. Anyone's guess on the EU until, yeah, we got four or 5 minutes, three and a half minutes, something like that, until stocks. It's just shaking people out. That's all. GJ holding its 50 on the 15-minute. Looks like it's trying to roll over, but again, if it sits and then starts to shoot up, that trend line is now going to be under price, which is the RSI, and then it would look like a cradle and then continue its momentum to the upside. This is every bit of a buying condition TDI. Yes, it's a little bit divergent, but I don't, you know me, I don't like to call tops. I don't like to tell the market what it's doing, saying, oh, you're divergent, you're done, you know? Because as you see here on the 4 hour, you're still holding this trend line. I would have to wait 3.5 hours to see what it does. And yes, the 4 hour market sentiment is starting to rise, which again gives me potential that maybe this is still in an uptrend. It'll confirm it. I just wait for the market. Always let the market move first and then just join in for the ride. It's like let your friends pick up the Uber first and then you just let them pay for the Uber first and you just get in the passenger seat. And then you would know if it was no good, if it came down here and tried to break these lows and couldn't and then started showing more bullish patterns, then you would know this divergence might be good and this uptrend is coming right back in. And a day like today, with the market, the U.S. bank market closed tomorrow and stuff like that, you could see some funny stuff happen today. You could definitely see it shaking people out. It's the beginning of the month. As Supima was telling me, you know, there's a lot of options contracts that are like expiring today. So a lot of money to be gathered by these big titans of industry. So I think it's just our job to try and follow the money. And while they make billions, I try to make thousands. EA finding support potentially on the 1 minute right here. See how it like came down, pulled up, hit this low, consolidating, now trying to show more potential to the downside. $9:30 stock market's open. EU's right back into this zone from yesterday's high. GJ might come lower. You can see this breakdown, consolidate. You might see more continuation to the downside from here. Maybe a stop up here at like 40 something. This is a short-term look at it, but again, if it's falling over and it looks like it's starting to fall over, is it then push, consolidate, push, like like it's making structure? Is that the structure it's making? Again, I did say that this is in a buying condition, so I don't want to go away from that. So I don't know that maybe that's a valid, but this is something that you see a lot as you start making downtrending structure. Is it's like the stairs, down, over, down, over, down. Divergence here on the 1 minute between these two bottoms. You can see right here, all these pins. Having trouble with this. I don't know if I feel like taking a long. As you can see, it's starting to come up a little bit here. I don't know if I want to take an early divergence entry to try and get back into trend with this. I don't know if that's wise. I think I need more information. Let's take a quick jump over here. Wow. Whoo! What did I just say about the stock market? Every bit of potential to move higher, right? So it's above the 50. Buying, look at this, gapped up mega. That's a lot. Set like 300 points, something like that. Now again, could do anything, but open of that is a gap up. It's still in every bit of a buying condition. I don't know how that affects DXY. I have to get more educated than that, but GJ pulling up. Diverging here, breaking. Let me see if like I said, I want to stay. I want to stay with the trend as much as I can. Breaking through or trying to at least on EA, as I said, it kind of came down and now it found support here, resistance here through this kind of like bearish engulfing. Started sending it to the downside, but it's still divergent. It's still sitting on this, so this isn't a guarantee that's going to keep falling just yet. But you know, you see where the momentum's trying to get to. Back at the 50 on the 1 minute on EU. GJ, is this making structure right here? Divergent, come up, support, 2 candle bullish to bring it higher maybe? Not sure just yet. I don't want to be super early on this. What I was saying on the 5 minute was kind of like downtrending structure, like break, sideways, break, sideways, break. But now it didn't do that. It's starting to hold and push back up. Let's see what happens as it hits this channel. Because again, this is still potential to move higher. That's a 2 candle on the 1 minute. Do I take a stop down here at like 24? That's a 20 pip stop. I need 40. I would need to go all the way up to like 80 something. It would have to break for a new high a day. I want to see how it handles this structure, like this this trend line, this kind of like back, is it break, retest, and then is it gonna like come lower? Or is it gonna stay with this momentum to the upside? You can see EU starting to make like uptrending structure a little bit. Couldn't make a lower low. Broke out, made a high. This is a lower high. This is a higher high. Is this like the next stair, like a lower or a higher low? Still, it could just be a top here. I don't know. It's very, very tricky to me at the moment. I'm not getting a clean look at it. GU divergent as well. Now it's starting to make some structure. You can see how it's coming right back up. Because again, these are still buying. They're still very much with buying opportunities. So I don't want to just put on the sell. Not yet. Let's see how it holds here on GJ. See how now it's come back into this area. Let's see what it does. See what it does here at this like 32-ish around this area. If it pushes up, sits, and then pushes up again, then you might see the overall trend coming back in. But it looks like it's trying to go. Man, this is really just a little hard for me to read. EU starting to come. It's in this area. It kind of broke, and now it's retesting this zone. I know, I don't have a feel yet either. I agree with you. Because what I see here on the 1 minute is it could be doing this. Like, you could just be making structure high, come back, sit here, and then push again. So like you're starting to create uptrending structure. But when you had a break, retest, I would anticipate like a big break, come back, and then like another push down to at least try and get down here and feel it out, just up, down, kind of choppiness. Yeah, see how it's starting to like pull down a little bit. Again, around 32-ish, these bottoms, because it broke above. Now see if it finds support and then pushes higher. Because again, this is in an uptrend, so you don't want to call the bottom. This is technically like, if it holds, this could be a higher low. higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then at least try and come up into these 60s, 70s, at least try and test up here maybe, and then see if it's got momentum to the upside or if it's going to like taper off. It's interesting. See how it's sitting? Came up. That's like sitting. I'm curious. Does it like roll over or does it throw a bullish engulfing? See how this is sitting too on this 5-minute, how it's like kind of holding this. See how this trend line's kind of rising? You might see it like cradle it and throw it back up, or it's going to like rip through it. Obviously, it's going to be one or two things. This is really interesting because I'm not sure. Look at this rejection that's happening right here on this 30-minute chart. Now you got 20 minutes, it can still fill it. So oh, that was previous candle. That was 30 minutes before and pulled up. Yeah, and see on the hour, just sat on this EMA and then pushed back. This might come higher actually. Spima, this might have triggered these people in and it's pulling them. I'm gonna watch and wait on this. The GJ moving higher. Came down to like 34. Now it's like, if it sits on this 50 and throws bullish, I'm going to probably take it long. Because I want to stay with the trend. I don't want to call an end to it. If this really like consolidates sideways and throws like a nice bullish engulfing, then I might consider it to the upside. EA, yeah, toppled off right on that bearish and just kind of falling through. I did like EA to the downside. AU moving up. EU just sitting for a moment. GJ kind of coming a little lower. I'm going to need more time on this. I very much want to, feel like I want to stay long on this. See how it's holding? It's holding right now. Starting to make uptrending structures. This would be like a higher low technically, kind of come back at this price, sit here. We'll see. See if it doesn't just throw a bearish engulfing and fall through. But you can see how it's like comes up, it's support. It's like starting to maybe move up. Kind of stalling here on a 5-minute. Like I said, this trend line is kind of, they're about to meet. So something's about to happen soon. You're going to have an answer shortly. Here comes GJ, look. See if it throws this bullish engulfing. It's still a little too tricky to call just yet. I want to keep my mind ready. See how it's like sat and then it threw it to the upside. This is a higher low right here at the moment. It's still in this zone right here, but it's sitting. This is a, this is like a higher low technically at the moment if it keeps going up. So we're gonna have to watch and wait and see what it does. You can see like it's just very indecisive at the moment. 5 minute. I like GJ better, I think, than EU. See how GU's starting to make structure too, like, because they're in an uptrend. All right, I think I'm getting long on GJ potentially. I like this candle right here. Let me see how it closes. I'm gonna put a stop at like, am I gonna do like 10 pips, like 32? No, don't do this to me. I can't get the position I need on GJ. Got it. All right, so my stop is going to be, I'm long GJ, my stop is going to be 134.30. I can't get the price I need on the pound because it's a pound. So I'm in at 45. My stop is 30, so that's like 15 pips. So I need to go to like 75, which is like basically high a day. But I like how it's holding, and it's looking like it's trying to make bullish structure on the 1 minute. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. If it doesn't push higher, if this 5 minute doesn't really close strong, then I'll think about cutting it because maybe it's wrong. But I want to stay with the trend. I'm just about in profit. I couldn't get my goddamn order in it because it kept saying I was off quotes because you see EU's looking like it's trying to come up too. It's breaking out. I gotta get to 75, which is, like I said, 135 flats. So I need to get to 75 for 2R. 134.75. So I'm in profit, just a couple pips. I'm watching this closely to see how this actually handles, and I might be a little early, but I want to see how it handles this zone. Make sure that it does indeed close bullish. This would be nice. Come down, consolidate, push up. It looks like it's trying to make upward structure, but again, this day is a little funky. So I want to be aware of that it might just be a little choppy. But I'm trying to stay with the trend. The trend is very much up. Maybe I should have my stop down here, but I feel like if it is going up, it shouldn't come below this structure, which is why my stop is at 30, because it should just come up and then keep making up higher structure. So we'll see what it does. I need about 25 pips. Certainly got the space for it. 30 seconds, this would be a really nice close on a 5 minute. See how it didn't continue its downtrending structure. It actually held, consolidated, now is making bullish. So let's see how this closes. If this is like a nice igniting candle here on the 5-minute, we'll see. So I'm nicely in profit, which is good. I'm not in any drawdown. I'm in the right direction. I could have got a much better entry if I could have got the trade on, but it was just kept giving me issues. This looks like a pretty nice close. It looks pretty promising to me that we're at least going to try and get back up to these highs around 70 on the 1-minute as we're looking. You see, like if it makes a lower high, then I have an issue. But right now we're cooking pretty good. I need to get up to 75 right here. So it would technically be a new high a day. So we're going to see what happens as we get around 70 if it keeps chugging. Like I said, pretty nice close on the 5-minute. Give this time. We're staying with the trend. And we'll see what it does. I'm in at 2.2, which I could technically take a bigger stop if I wanted to and still have 2% on. Really getting some momentum. I hope this just keeps going. Let's see what's happening around the market. EA, still divergent. Not really. It's actually kind of fell out. Let's keep an eye on this. Again, I like that I'm staying with the trend. And I feel like I took a good entry. Might come back and test. But I'm trying to stay with the trend, which has been long. And again, if it starts failing up here, like it easily could, it could just be making something like this. Oh wait, this is the 5-minute. It could not make a higher high. You know what I mean? Like, see how it's kind of like this. If you're so, I don't know. I'm gonna pay very close attention to it. I like this 5-minute candle. Really nice. Like I said, if it was making downtrend structure, it would be down, consolidate, down, and I would look to get in on that. But it didn't. It rejected with a bullish engulfing, went sideways, and threw another bullish candle. So I want to see how this holds. Again, the trend is, and see how here on the hour, it kind of just pinned down. Now it's starting to move up. Like I said, still in a buying condition, so I want to stay with that sentiment. I don't want to go away from that sentiment. Still holding the trend line here on the 4-hour, every bit of potential to come higher. I didn't want to put a sell in. Came down, hit this 50, and now it's starting. We have to see how it closes, but it's starting to move to the upside. No guarantees. And keep an eye on it. Man, I was trying to get in at like 42, and it just wasn't letting me get this position on. Now it's starting to come back a little bit. Let's see where it finds support. And again, it could just not break these highs, but I'm staying with the trend. Yeah, I hear you, Supima. It does look like it's trying to stay bullish, and that's why I want to stay bullish with it, but I want to be cognizant of what's going on in here. There's a lot of rejection, but yeah, definitely stay with the trend. Don't call tops. Don't tell the market it's done moving. Came back and found some support, showing signs that it's trying to move higher. I'm in a little bit of profit, and I'm going to take it one candle at a time. But I do want to see it move higher. EU, definitely, like we said, off this divergent, broke this box, retested the box, trying to move higher. Dollar index probably rolling over a little bit. Yeah, it's coming back to this area. So it's not, but again, you could see the selling sentiment here on the DXY. Came all the way down, kind of got people trapped short, got people trapped long, trapped short. Now it's kind of just, it's fucking around with people. Now this would be nice here again, if you could see it just kind of come up sideways, and then again, another, boom, another bullish engulfing, you know, like now you start to make maybe uptrend structure. Like you kind of fell out, now maybe you start making, we'll see. I'm very cautious. Very, very cautious. I'm not in complete belief that I'm correct. I'm just trying to stay with the trend. GU moving up, the strength of that DXY falling. But again, this could just be a level of support, and then it moves back up, which would bring Euro back down. You know, maybe it finds it's coming right back to this zone that we have. But again, this is in an uptrend, so you want to try and stay with the trend. Yeah, I'm just in a little bit of profit on this GJ. EA falling nicely. A little bit of stalling. AU pushing up. Yeah, see what happens. You can see how it's like coming right back. On the 1 minute, sentiment is slowly rising. This trend line on the 5 minute is still kind of rising a little bit. They're gonna meet at some point, and then we're gonna have a reaction. So we're gonna be aware of what that reaction is. Like I said, I'm in a little bit of drawdown now actually. I'm like flat. I'm like break even to like down a pip or two. As this 15-minute candle is starting to come to like a close. I'd like to see it, you know, I could see. Trying to stay with it though. You're right at this trend line here. I'd like to see it push through. Stay with the uptrend. This isn't the greatest reversal candle I've ever seen in my life. I like the down, I like the doji, and I like the push. I would have liked to see the push like where it is now to really engulf and show me momentum. Doesn't mean that it can't go, but not, like I said, not the greatest. I'd like to see this come up and maybe match this one, or, you know, I just want to see momentum. I don't want to see it having trouble. Got, 45 seconds for the candle close. We'll keep an eye on it. I see her hitting this box on EA or EU. Might not come back into here. We're gonna see. Read and react, read and react. GJ looking pretty good. It's a nice little 2 candle here on the 5-minute that just closed. You can see a little bullish engulfing. 15-minute up into through the trend line. It's trying to come higher. It's right back into this chop, so it could be a little dicey, but we're moving in the right direction. We're starting to break up a little bit on the 1-minute. We'll see how it handles these highs. So far, so good. But this is still very much an uphill battle, I think, with this trade. EU. Yeah, see, they come down and they're finding this box, and now they're starting to move. Yeah, I'm negative real quick on GJ. Interesting. This could be see how it broke, retest. Now you could be getting that move to the downside maybe. We'll see. So I said it could just be very choppy. It's sitting right on the top. See how it broke out of this box? Now it's back to this box. Does it find support and push higher? Is this like a support level? If this 5-minute closes like bearish engulfing, I'm gonna rip this trade out. I'm gonna close it. As you can see, it's starting to like we'll see. We'll give it time. I probably shouldn't close mid candle of a 15. Let's just see what it does. There's no reason to get itchy yet. Oops, sorry. Does GJ have any correlation with EU? I don't know. I think they kind of correlate together, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit. It's just struggling a little bit. Yeah, it completely fell off. We had this red well off of the daily and the 4-hour yesterday. It definitely said EA down. Just missing clean opportunities, man. It's really what's happening. I just keep getting in things that are like a little bit of an issue. Like I said, that doesn't mean this trade is beat and like I'm not gonna get where I need to get to. AUD has strength right now. Euro seems to be doing pretty well too. Look, you can see how I hit this level now, starting to push a little bit, kind of finding support, engulfing. Just stay with it, man. That's all we can do. Look, uptrending structure. See? See how it's making structure to the upside? This is nice. That's what you want to see. Right to these highs. Strong. Strong. Use it as support. Now it's pushing strong. EU's really getting momentum now. Same with GJ. They're all starting to really drive a little bit, kind of pinning back down. Hope it holds. Dollar index, you can see, is just kind of shitting off. It's probably going to come back and try and test lows, maybe, I would assume. See how it does with 91 first. This kind of level where it had like a little shelf. GJ's up, up and up. Really nice 1 minute candle. Bullish. 5 minute wicked back and then closed bullish. Is good. It's good signs. We're try and stay with it if we can, as long as it keeps showing us what we want to see. One candle at a time. I like the way this is looking. But again, I'm still just very a little cautious with it. Strong push. See if it goes sideways. Again, on big pushes like that, sometimes a little sideways, sometimes a little correction. But that's momentum. I'd like to see that momentum continue. I'd like to see it come and test these highs around 70, something like that. But if not, then what it's doing is it's making a lower low, a lower high, double top for the fall. So I have to be wary of that. Because this could very well be a lower high. Like this was the high, this is the lower low on the 1 minute here. So it makes a high, makes a lower low, comes up and makes a lower high, double tops, rejects, and then pushes back down. That's what I want to be aware of. I don't want to see this break back through. I want to see this hold and continue to make structure high. Continue with this, because now if you look at it like this could be the low, this could be the higher high and the higher low, higher high, higher low. So this could also be the uptrending structure. So I have to be more on a higher time frame because it's too quick on the lower time frame. So as I look at this 15 minute, I see that it came down, found support, pushed up. For the last little bit, it came down and it found buyers in this market because it tried to sell, but buyers are pushing it up. So I'm hoping that buyers are going to try and push through here, but we do see that there has been resistance at this level. Okay, a lot of people got trapped here, so this could be a choppy market. Overall trend is to the upside, so we want to stay on that bias, but we don't want to ignore what we're seeing in here. I said I'm up like 50 bucks, nothing crazy. It's in the right direction. I'm being very, very acutely aware of what's happening on the lower time frames. And if I see anything that doesn't look right, then I'm just going to be like, all right, you know what? This isn't worth it. I don't want to lose. You can see how he's doing the same thing on EU. It's failing to break the high. It's coming back down to this box. If it starts going the wrong way, then you know that this momentum was correct, and this is just a correction trying to trap, and then you might see it come back down. But we're trying to stay with the trend if we can. I like the hold here on GJ. Give it 15 seconds and see how this 1 minute closes. See if it finds support here. Push up, like I said, sometimes you see a little correction. Find the EMA, hold it, engulf it. Hold this liquid 50, hold this trend line. Bullish engulfing, more momentum to the upside. Let's see, it's 50-50 right now. We got 5 minutes left in this candle. Anything can happen. I like the 5 minute too. I like what I'm seeing, but I'm very, very cautious. Like it's almost like I don't believe it, which isn't, I don't want that mentality. No, it's all good, Supima. I appreciate you being on here and chatting with me, bro. I'm just, I'm just taking it one candle at a time. Like I said, I know the overall direction has been bullish. I do see that there's been some rejection here. I feel like I got a pretty decent entry, and now I'm just trying to see what it does. You see EU starting to falter a little bit, but it can still hold here. It's still not like, I don't want to see like this short-term bearish momentum and like get in my head. Like if I see a really significant move like away from what I'm trying to do, then I might be like, you know what? I think this is wrong. And I kind of feel like that, honestly. I feel like this might not be right. See how it's like driving back down right now? Now I could hold this 50 here on the minute and still push higher. I still got 3 minutes in a candle. I'm under this. Like this is still very much buying, but I'm not. I'd rather be above it, not under it. I don't like to try and bring myself through it. I like to be above it already because that gives me like almost like trampoline type of effect. Like you're sitting on it, you're bouncing above it. I don't know. I really don't. I think I might close it. I got 2 minutes left in the candle. It can do anything. I shouldn't close it too early, but I don't think I like what this is doing. I got my finger on the trigger. I don't like how that's falling through. Could hold here, up, pull back, hold, and then push higher. This is divergence. This is falling. I'm out. I'm closing the trade. Yeah, I saved myself a couple bucks. Nah, it wasn't right. Fuck. Nah, wasn't right. Now do I take a short? I don't know. I could see it wasn't. This was a good candle, but then once it starts, and then I'm looking at the 5 minute, how it's like just, it's not doing it. It's not what it's doing. Bang, you can see it here too. I read it exactly right. I just went the wrong way. Yeah, broke down, retest, couldn't break the zone, double topped. This is actually just a lower high potentially. Bearish engulfing. Now you're starting to see the move down. Just chopping people out. Here's a nice 5 minute on EU. that might be worth a sell. But again, it's going to be down, correct, down. That's through on a 5-minute. Stop at 75. But it's still very much potentially buying. So I don't know. And maybe I pulled GJ prematurely, but I don't like that candle. I'm going short on EU with a stop at 75. I like that 5-minute. See how it rejected the zone? My stop is up here. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry. See how it rejected the zone? Crossed through on the 5-minute. I'm going to try and see if I can bring it back down here. I'm in a little bit smaller, so I don't risk as much in case it's wrong, because this thing could just be choppy. But to me, it was like break, retest, bearish engulfing. See if I can get it to come back down here. I'm in profit. I lost like 199 bucks off that first trade. So I lost less than 2%. So if I wind up going in the wrong direction on this one, then I can close it and still only lose like 2% on the day. And maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't even be in this just because it's right here at this zone. Could just hold it and then move up, and it's just chopping around and getting people induced like it's doing to me right now. I do like that 5-minute entry though. Break, retest, bearish engulfing through the liquid 50, right on our trend line. Look at that. Like, see, that makes sense to me. My stop is up here at 75. It's above the candle structure, but that could be wrong too, honestly. This is just one of these days, man, where you might not want to trade because you're just going to get chopped the fudge around. I do like this candle though. Up, consolidate, engulfs the whole thing through this liquid 50. This should fall, at least come and check these lows, in my opinion. At least. If not, drive lower. 1.13 is strong resistance. Yeah. We'll see, man. I'm right at break even. My stop is like 10 pips. Going for 20, which is like 44. I don't know though. Like I said, this could just be one of these days where it's just like you can't catch it clean. I don't want to take a bath either, because this could just be a pullback here. Like, see what I said on GJ? Like, I wouldn't have got stopped out on GJ. But that just doesn't seem right to me. Maybe it double bottoms and then moves, maybe it's just chopping, getting people induced both ways, taking people's money left and right. I don't know, man. This is definitely not. See how GJ just like it pushed hard. I don't know. I hate these days. So not the days I want. To me, I want to stay short with EU though. I think this makes sense. Breaks down, comes up, finds resistance, and now it's pushing down. But again, is it just trapping people? There's my alarm for my doctor. I'm right at like break even. I would like, you guys know what I want to see. Down, sideways, down. This is a breakout candle. This is through on the 5-minute. It is in a selling condition. Yeah. I don't really know, man. I'd like to, my analysis tells me this should come short based on this. Break, retest, starts to move away, should come lower. At least down to these lows, I would like to see, at least. Because if it is going to come lower, why would it not come and at least test this level? If not fall through it. I don't know though. It's just one of these days. I trust my analysis. Question is how far does it go? If it goes, ADR is 32. I'm looking for the bottom of this structure, basically. Right here, 44. This is where my target is. That's like 20 pips from my entry. It's very much still in an uptrend though. It's sitting right here at yesterday's high. Doesn't have to roll over. 5-minute tells me that it's likely, but this 1-minute looks like it could be settling, finding like a double bottom. I don't know. I mean, that's a really, when I see 5-minute crosses like that, really strong, like falling, could be like a free fall. I mean, those, I like to take that. I don't want to ignore that. Usually when I see a 5-minute cross like that, I get the momentum I'm looking for. I'm in profit, so I'm not in like any type of drawdown. I just have to see if it's actually gonna, it looks like it's trying to. You can see I was trying to break this zone on the 1-minute. Dollar index is starting to push up too, so I think I might have this correct. We'll see though. It's a funny day. I don't want to get ahead of myself. If I hit this trade, I'll be up like 160 bucks on the day. I'll cover the $200 loss. I'll make like 160. Should be all right. I'll still be down on the week, but I'll only be down like, I don't know, 100 bucks, something like that. So it's just, my trading continues just flat. What's up, Michael? Thank you, brother. I hope you have a great day too, man. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I really, really like this 5-minute candle. I don't oftentimes see something that clean and that strongly through that doesn't at least give me some continuation, at least come and check the low a day so far down here. Because again, like if it is coming lower, you can see how it's kind of like free falling through. Like it could just hit this and move up. I don't know. It's just one of these weird days, you know. I should have been looking for the short up top, right, like here on this candle, like the double top failure with the pin, because I should have stayed with this impulse down. You don't want to take it here. You want to take it up top. Break, retest, find resistance. It's exactly what I said. Now, maybe I'm a little late, but not really. On this 5-minute, it came up, it consolidated, and then through this nice structure. Take the structure, stop at the top. If it's going to come lower, then it shouldn't break this. I have my risk on. I know that I want to see it at least come down here. I'm in profit, about $100. I feel the momentum is carrying to the downside, and we'll see what happens in 4 minutes if this holds, if this falls through. I don't deny that this is still in an uptrend, but it looks like it kind of broke up, come back. So let's see what happens as it gets to the lows. Again, I don't often see a 5-minute make this type of move through that doesn't at least carry some momentum. Now, do I just put my stop at break even and just be like, whatever, let's see if it rips and not risk losing anything? I don't know if that's the right move because it could easily just come back up and test that. But from here, I would like to see it fall away. This looks like it's free falling. Got 3 minutes left in the candle, which in my opinion, last 3 minutes is make or break. It's falling off, broke, retest, bullish and bearish engulfing. Now you're getting continuation. Double pins to the zone. Pretty clean, breaking through this structure. I like to see it come down. I think 44 is a reasonable target. It's this structure right here. But I don't know. Broke the box again. Let's see what happens. GJ fell off too. See, it like tried to push back up and now it's finding momentum to the downside. Dollar index finding the momentum to the upside, just like EU. See how it like comes through nicely. So we'll see. See if this actually takes off. $34 is ADR. 34 is all the way down here. Does it come back down to here? I don't know. I'm just trying to get my 2R. Yeah, I'm sure EU, Michael. I'm in at 11264. My stop is at 75. It's a 10 pip stop. Trying to see if I can get this thing to carry down. I took a small loss on GJ, which is now absolutely falling to hell. I should have been a little bit more patient on that, and I might have been able to catch this short on it. But I was trying to stay with the trend. GU stalling. EA gone. That was a good one. We missed that one. 20 seconds left in this candle. Looks really good. Like I said, I'm getting the push that I anticipate down to at least this low. I'm up in profit, a little over $100. Trying to make back this GJ loss. Let's see if this wants to really ignite or if it's going to find some support here. It looks good on the 15-minute, how you're like through the trend line. Still free falling a little bit. Nice bearish engulfing. I'd like to see another kick real hard. Just take off. It's not oversold on the 1 minute yet. It's not oversold on the 5 minute. It's definitely free falling. GJ just tanking. I'm going to move my stop to BE 112649. Just as I don't want to lose this day. There's no reason for that. But this thing looks like it's finding the momentum I was hoping for. What is it? 1.12649. So this is a winning trade, so to speak, because I can't lose. I'm looking to get it down to 44, which is about 9 pips. It's really looking pretty decent as we're striking the low. Momentum seems to be to the downside, but again, anything can happen. That's why I put my stop at break even. I'm up about $170. So I'm halfway to my target. If I hit this, it's going to be a $320 win. I'll cover the 200 on EU and we'll end the day profitable. I do have to go though. I have to get to my doctor's. So I'm going to have to cut the stream here. I'll keep you guys posted on Instagram. And that's it, man. Thanks for being on. A little bit of a funky day, definitely. I wish I was a little bit more cognizant on GJ and maybe didn't take that buy. Looked for a better selling opportunity on EU, but so far so good. Like I said, this 5 minute really looks like it's got the juice. Free falling. You see how it's like starting to fall, but we are hitting the lows, so we want to make sure that we continue. Yeah, I'm up over 200 right now. It's tanking good. I'm 7 pips from my take profit. See how it goes. It's definitely fallen here on the 1 minute. But again, it should just keep falling. It looks like it's got the potential to just keep falling, but we are at the lows. So close. Like I said, about 6 pips. It's starting to hit oversold a little bit. 1250 is certainly support, as Sapima's saying. We definitely know that. We're going to lock it in to 55. 1 point. So here's what we're doing. I locked the trade at 1R just so that I don't lose. Really close to take profit. I could close it here and be up on the day. I don't want to close it just yet because it's still falling. And there we go. Literally bang, smashed it. Awesome. Wow. Caught it. I was going to move it to like a little lower, but that's a nice rip. $336. I'm up 100 and if you guys could see, I'm up 136 on the day. Didn't get scared of the loss. Anybody catch this? Nice job, Sapima. Good hit. Went right there. I was gonna put it down to like 34 actually, and give myself another 10 pips, just to kind of kick it. Now this thing's starting to get a little action. GJ falling. This was really good. I think that I might have got a little bit too caught in trying to stay with the trend on GJ, and what we should have done was focus on EU and realized that on EU, what had happened, what happened was that it broke down. You knew you were going to get a retest of either this level or the box. It retested the box through double pin rejection, bearish engulfing. This is where we got in 65. Took it down. I hit my 2R. Maybe I should have hit it a little heavier. But I didn't want to lose like 4% today, so maybe that's a mistake on my part. I should have maybe just put my full position in because I would have hit for like 600 and I would have made 400 on the day. It is what it is. The day is positive. I'm taking good entries, and that's it. Um, awesome. So that's perfect timing because I got to get the hell out of here and get to my doctor real quick. But I appreciate you guys being on. Happy Thursday. Have a happy and safe 4th of July. I hope you enjoy it. Make the most of it. Take some time off and relax. We're going to be back here next week, Monday, 8:30 to 11. Like always, we're going to keep crushing it. It's a pretty flat week. I think I'm down like a 0.5%, something like that. But whatever, man. We're seeing it well. We're moving in the right direction. I only see more potential for this stream and for what I'm doing, and I'm glad to have you all on board. Appreciate you very much. Enjoy your 4th. Adios, fam.